Hello, this is Meta Gonzalez presenting for Professor Luna's Week 8 critical assignment. The person I'm going to be presenting about this week or for this assignment is Antonia Hernández. So, who was Antonia Hernández? Antonia Hernández was born in, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Torreon, Mexico, and in 1948, and immigrated to the U.S. at age 7. So she immigrated in the 1950s with her family, and they settled in the Maravilla housing projects of East LA, where she began school with limited English, but excelled thanks to her determination. And fast forwarding to her higher education years, she attended UCLA and received a bachelor's in history at age 22 and a Juris Doctor in law. Okay, and unfortunately I could not find any photos of her graduation or anything, so I found the most recent photo of her at UCLA, where she receives the UCLA medal. Now, moving on to the reasons why I believe she should be studied. The top 3 reasons, honestly, that I'm going to present about are her most significant cases in her career. This first one, she unfortunately lost, but was still very impactful. And the case here is Madrigal versus Killigan. So in this case, she defended not 1, not 2, and not 3 Latin women who primarily spoke Spanish, who were also sterilized at the LA County USC Medical Center. They had been involuntarily sterilized after they had given birth. So they were under anesthesia or duress, unfortunately. And the lead defendant here was Dr. James Killigan. The doctors argued that they acted in good faith, and the judge ruled in favor of the doctors in 1978, stating that there was no intent to harm. But the case sparked national outrage and led to significant reforms in informed consent procedures, specifically ones of non-English speaking patients. And so the impact of this case being that it highlighted the need for bodily autonomy and culturally competent care. A couple of years after this case, Hernandez fought another case, Plyler versus Doe, and was under different circumstances. In 1982, Plyler versus Doe is a case where some public schools refused undocumented children of their education. And MALDEF, which is the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, fought this, and they won, fortunately. And now, MALDEF is Antonia Hernández worked for MALDEF, and in 1985 became president of MALDEF, so that's why this is relevant. And now moving on to Edgewood Independent School District versus Kirby in 1989. So while she was president, MALDEF fought this case. And essentially, at the beginning of this case, many independent school districts, their funding came from the surrounding taxes, I believe. So the funding depended on the taxes of those around them. So the more wealthier communities would have better funding than the lower income communities, and obviously that wasn't fair. So the lower income communities were not getting the same quality as the wealthier communities. And MALDEF fought this along with Antonia Hernández. They fought this and they won, as it was deemed unconstitutional. Yes, they won, and I wanted to point out that for each of these cases, I used a newspaper. that's how big these cases were, that they were published on the Los Angeles Times of the newspaper. It was word. It was, yes, they were big cases at the time. And that's the reason why I believe Antonia Hernández should be studied more, as she was a key figure during this time where many were fighting for their Latino civil rights, as she fought for not only civil rights but reproductive justice and immigration reform. She was a key figure in the Chicano movement and reshaping cultural and political identity. And she is still a big figure today, even today. Currently, she is the CEO of the California Community Foundation, which is where she continues to battle for Latin equality and opportunity. Thank you so much.